Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you are new here. So everyone is talking, and when I say everyone, the media, social media, is talking about Meghan's recent appearance at an intimate Netflix event. It wasn't big, but it's now being positioned as such, and it's becoming, again, the Meghan Markle show. And of course, this is in regards to the dress that she wore. So I'm going to dive into this because I found out some very interesting information. And so if you are interested more of the deep dives, not just regurgitating what is in the mainstream media, where I find you the truth with facts, not just gossip, well, then this could be the channel for you. So go grab your drink of choice, whatever that may be, as you sit back and relax as we get into some tea, some truth with a touch of therapeutic psychology. Hey everyone, so as I said, I hope you have had a lovely weekend, whatever you were doing. I hope it was peaceful, but of course there's no rest for those of us who discuss Harry and Meghan, because again, they're out. And I do think this is deflection, because we know that Harry is being sued by SUSSEX, and I'm going to be getting into that into another video, but I just felt it was important to talk about this particular incident because it just, well, it's very, very prevalent at the moment. And it was the first thing that sort of popped up in my feed when I started looking into, okay, what's the goss on those two? What's going on? And this was the one that popped up. This was a taste maker event, and this was to celebrate season 2 of Beef. And this is obviously to do with Netflix. And this was not a very high profile event. There was not a lot of people here. So I understand, and I'm going to get into this a bit more, where people say that they crashed the event, and I'm going to get into why I don't believe that, but I will give you my theories. But so yeah, so this was to do with the main actress. This was held in Montecito, California. It was the private residence of Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos and his wife. Now the co-host, this was obviously being hosted by Ted Sarandos. The co-host was Nicole Avant. And apparently she's very socially connected in Hollywood circles, which explains why there was a bit of a mix of guests. Now, the guests who, obviously, there was the main lady of the event, Carley Mulligan, I believe that's her name, Oscar Isaac, Charles Melton, and Lee Song-jin. So the guests were Katy Perry, Orlando Bloom, Nikki Knoll, Lionel Boyce, and Justin Trudeau. And I believe that because most people, I think we know now that Katy and Justin are dating. And it's a little bit strange that Orlando was there, because Orlando and Katy used to be dating. So I'm guessing they're still friends. And of course, Harry and Meghan were there. And so that, unless there was other lower profile people there that may have attended, but these are, I guess, the high profile people that are being listed. So this is why I don't believe that Harry and Meghan crashed, because A, how would they have known about it? Because it was a very low-key event. And secondly, it's at Ted Sarandos' home. So I just don't see them waltzing up and being like, yeah, hey, we're gate crashing your event. But I can see Harry being invited, because like I've said before, I do not believe these two are together. I do not believe they're living together. So I can see that Harry potentially gets invited and she is like a tag along. I can definitely see that happening. Of course, there's no credible evidence to back that, but I can see it happening. This wasn't like a chaotic, like I say, celebrity, massive thing. And when I was looking at the dress code, it's a black and white dress code. And given how everyone else was dressed, that's very plausible. What I did find was the fact that Carrie, for the promotion of Beef 2, season 2, wearing, now I need to say this name right because I always get this a bit, Chartreuse. Is it Chartreuse? The colour? I'm not a fan. I am a huge fan of green. I love green. I think it goes to my sort of Irish roots. But the Chartreuse colour, I feel you need to have a specific sort of colour skin. Like I feel like it's very, either you've got to be very sort of dark olive skinned, darker skinned to pull that sort of colour off, or perhaps very pale skinned to pull it off. Blonde, I don't know, because I just feel like it's a really sort of wearing the wrong sort of style, the wrong colour skin. It can almost look, dare I say, a bit vomity. Oh, I don't want to say that now. And let's say in certain colour, it can be a beautiful colour, but it's not my favourite. So it's interesting that Ms. Narc, as I like to call her, because Markle, narcissist, you know, play on words, that she chose to wear this particular colour. Now, we know that Meghan has form for this type of thing. Now, again, when you look at dress codes, when you look at things that are sort of frowned upon, one of the things is you do not upstage the person who is supposed to be the main event. And we've seen that Meghan has done this similar before. And this is very classic when it comes to people like Meghan who do not stand in their own right. So when you have, say, someone who is an A-list celebrity, they don't need to draw attention because they draw attention just for being who they are. People only have to know that name to be like, well, you know, the cameras will gravitate towards that person anyway. I mean, you've only got to look at Princess Catherine. Like I've said before, she could wear a paper bag, a black bin liner, and still she would be photographed as the most beautiful woman. She would just rock it. Then we have Meghan, who just her insecurity, she needs to dominate the space. And she's done this so many times. I mean, we've only got to look at where she wore that, and I will say awful because it was awful, that bright green monstrosity when everyone else was kind of wearing red, navy. And not Meghan, no, because I think that she knows that when you go against the grain in that respect, it's like the camera automatically, your eye automatically goes. So when you're wearing, say, when it was at Louis' christening and everyone was wearing sort of like the neutral tones and Meghan wears olive green, it's like your eye automatically goes, you just can't help, you can't help it. And she did it when you look at even what, it wasn't just about the colour, but it was about when she wore that coat for Eugenie's wedding, when all the pregnancy speculation, she purposely wore that coat where the first two buttons were done up and then the other buttons were left undone. And she purposely did that, which then drew attention to her and made it all about her on someone else's wedding. So she is the type of person that would go to someone's wedding and wear white. She is, you know, she wouldn't try to upstage the bride. This is the way that Meghan Markle is, because she's very, very deeply insecure in amongst all of whatever she does that goes on. So the fact that she turned up to this event in the colour that the main actress, the star of the show, was wearing, just shows you what she was attempting to do. So you then sort of think, but why? Why would she do that? Because surely that would be frowned upon.
So yeah, guess who just received a CBE from the King recently? Yeah, you got it. The actress Carley Mulligan. So the fashion incident occurred just weeks after Mulligan received a CBE for services to drama from King Charles at Windsor Castle on the 31st of March. So make of that what you will, but it's a little bit interesting that the person that Meghan chose to upstage just so happened to receive a CBE from the King, who, well, we know how she feels about the royal family. So revenge? Could be.
Well, the thing is with Meghan is that she probably goes through this risk versus reward. The reward is the attention is on me. The risk is I risk annoying people. And I think we're seeing that happen already. Because when you look at Meghan and Harry, they are the sort of people that if they hadn't have done what they'd done, they would be being invited to everything and everywhere. I truly do believe that when they first went there to America, they thought they were going to be invited to all of the A-list parties, everything that just Hollywood had to offer. And I truly do believe that. The unfortunate thing is they couldn't have banked on that we went into a lockdown and spent pretty much the first year to 2 years where everyone was struggling. Hollywood wasn't really open, nothing was really happening. So they had to garner attention in the way that they knew, and that was just walking around with masks over their faces, which defeats the point because no one can really see that it's you. So they were trying to do attention elsewhere by going to food banks and handing out, you know what they did. So this is what Meghan does. So she garners attention in the only way she knows how, and she tries to upstage the person's event. Look at recently when she showed up to the event. This was supposed to be about her friend, and what did she do? She fawned all over her. She literally was rubbing her belly, just going, you know, and leaning up against her, just acting incredibly immature for a woman of her age. But what that did was it made it about her. Meghan really does have main person syndrome, so she has to be the center of attention in all things, no matter what is going on. That's why she does these fake laughs. She does this weird behavior. Turns up to this event and she's wearing the same color as Carley Mulligan, who is, like, say, the main actress. Now, look, I'm someone that doesn't always like to critique Meghan in how she looks, because I feel that she does enough without needing to critique her body, critique her looks, etc. I understand it. Believe you me, I understand it, because there is that part of me sometimes that surface occasionally, not often, but occasionally, and I do keep her in check. And sometimes when I'm looking at things and I'm like, oh, Meghan, why did you wear that? And this dress is one of them. Some of the pictures that have come out are not very flattering. I understand why people have picked up on this. I really, really do. Because you cannot argue and say that she wouldn't have known. There was a dress code, given that nobody else was wearing that colour or anything like it, no bold colours. It was to create this actress to stand out. And Meghan would have known this. It does stand to reason that it's possible that Harry was invited and Meghan tagged along. And as a revenge, because Meghan also knows that Ted Sarandos and Netflix have distanced themselves from her, that they have, in a sense, basically started to let her go. They're still aligned with the first look thing with Harry and Meghan, but her specifically, it's kind of like, yeah, we're not promoting your stuff anymore. So the With Love Meghan is gone. You're, as ever, we're not promoting anymore, but we're still with you on the using Archewell, Merchewell for the first look at whatever they're doing. So they still need that Netflix proximity. So it's very possible that they're kind of doing this, you know, please invite us because we need to make it seem like we are still attached to you, because it's all they have. It's a bit like what they do with the royal proximity, right? Every time we see something come out about the royal family, up pop Harry and Meghan. So they do the similar type of things. But the fact of the matter is that she has hijacked this event by wearing the similar colour, because it now is that the main actress doesn't stand out, and all of the media articles have now come out about Meghan. This is not about Netflix. This is not about Carley Mulligan and promoting season 2 of Beef. It has now become the Meghan Markle show. So what's then interesting is that Getty Images have, all bar, I think, one image, they've removed all of the images from the website. Now, some people have said this could be to do with Meghan because she didn't like how it was being shown. But what's interesting is there were other pictures that have come out where she doesn't look awful. So why weren't they left up? Now, when I was looking into this, it seems that apparently what can happen with the industry is when they promote something and Getty Images, they put their, you know, a lot of them scour through the images. If this now becomes the Meghan Markle show, they will then try to reclaim the narrative. And by doing that, to create this Carrie to be the main star of the show, they have removed most of the pictures that are showcasing Meghan looking almost like wearing the identical sort of colour as the main person. The only one that seems to be kept is a group shot where Meghan's sort of standing from the side. All the others have been removed. So this, I don't believe, because some people have said, you know, that she rung up and she was like, you know, hey, excuse me, can you just remove those photographs because it's like they're showing my tummy, I don't like it. But they don't automatically do that. And like I say, there were some pictures that weren't really showing that, but she's still been removed. So this tells me that perhaps, and I don't know for sure, but it seems this is what they do. They have seen the images. They're realizing that with the media that they, and even though some have already been circulated, they need to reclaim the narrative with the mainstream media. So they've removed, because these ones will get circulated for a bit and then it will sort of die out. But when it comes to the main event, it will then be back to the main actors, the main actress it was for her. So this is like a clever strategic media move, which they can do a lot. And that could also then explain a little bit, especially around the Kardashians, because this is something that they do that's very common. If the media narrative then starts to come away from the people that it's supposed to be about, they will try to regain control of that by removing some of the pictures. Now, I'm not saying that Meghan didn't or did not ask for those pictures to be removed, but it does make more sense to me that they're like, hang on a minute, this is being made about her. We need to get those removed because it needs to be about us. So all of the pictures in regards to Harry and Meghan, most of them have been removed in regards to the Kardashian. What's left is just the ones that have been screen grabbed by social media, but eventually they just filter out of, the search engine. So I think they've done that here as well. Now, an interesting fact as well is that Abigail Spencer, who we know is supposed to be Meghan's bestie, a month ago, and I'll put the picture up here, also showcased this dress. Now, I don't know where that kind of fits and how poignant this is, but it does feel weird to me that she is pictured in the same exact dress and the same colour a month prior. So could this be Meghan going, hey, I need a Chartreuse dress. Can I borrow that one? Or as Meghan, because it got a lot of popular praise when Abigail Spencer wore it. So could it be that Meghan believed that by wearing the same, given that it was a month ago, that she's hopped on, again, we know how she likes to hijack. So she's seen this, it's popular. She's seen Abigail wear it and she's like, well, I want to wear that too. And perhaps I can then hop on, and then in a way, it's like she then it becomes about Meghan. So even though obviously Abigail got a lot of positivity from this, Meghan then makes it about her. She's now been photographed in it. But the problem with that is that Meghan's photographs are not very flattering. So as a designer, it's very possible that she's also got in touch and said, this is making this dress look terrible. Can we just have some of those photographs removed, please? I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me, because unfortunately, Meghan just does not understand her own body. She really, really doesn't. And I can't stress that enough. It's not about attacking a woman for her appearance, but it is very much about Meghan just does not seem to know what suits her frame. It just seems a bit strange that ever since she's been able to cultivate her own style, she just, it's like, what up? It's like, it's just, I don't know. It's like, what style? She either wears things that are, well, she always wears things that are very, very creased. She wears things that just are either, where she's going for this baggy look, and it just looks, unfortunately on her shape, just looks like she's thrown on something that's 5 sizes too big and worn it. And yeah, I mean, it's just not a good look. And I think for any designer, I can understand why they are not clamoring to have Meghan wear their outfits, because she just doesn't know her frame. I don't know what she sees when she looks in the mirror, but she certainly just doesn't dress accordingly. And it's just really, really bizarre to see. But yeah, so that was an interesting thing for me, the fact that it was that Abigail Spencer had worn this exact dress exact dress, exact colour a month prior. And suddenly Meghan has been like, you know, because I don't believe that they're like friends. We never see them out together. You never see that, you know, it's almost like it's utilised when it's needed. So I just don't see Meghan as the type of person that just brings her up and says, oh, hey, you know, I saw that picture of you in that dress and I just thought it looked amazing. I thought you looked amazing. And can I borrow it? I don't know. I don't see her as that type of girlfriend. But I can see her trying to even upstage someone that's a friend. It's like, I need a Chartreuse dress. That one was being photographed by Abigail. That got a lot of positive reviews. I need to hijack that moment. And then I can also hijack that moment. Oh, it's a 2 for 1. It's a bog off. Buy one, get one free. Woohoo! So I can see that happening. But yeah. So I don't know. It's just a very weird, yeah, it's very standard for Meghan, but it's very weird also. And I think that what we're seeing, because a lot of people probably don't necessarily understand how Hollywood works. And the more I sort of researched into this, what I see is that Hollywood do this thing where they filter you out. They don't just do this big dramatic, you're not being invited to this event. They do this filtering out. And I think this is what we're seeing. And this is why we're seeing Meghan latch onto wherever she can. And we're also seeing her then latch onto things that she would normally see as beneath her. Like, for example, cookie queens. That would normally be beneath someone like Meghan. But what I imagine is they are latching onto things that get them points in the media. Yes, it can draw attention for those people, so they probably think that they're going to get some attention from that. But what they have is Meghan and Harry, Meghan especially, will be looking for things that would get us attention, that would get us the right kind of attention. Oh, look, we're promoting Girl Scouts. That looks so amazing. That makes us look like we really care. So it gives us those points and gets us in the media. And I think that's what she does. This is why she's turning up to this event in Australia. Although I do believe it is to do with Marcus Anderson and the Australian Soho House in Sydney, I think there is some networking going on, because I do believe that this thing with Gemma would be absolutely beneath her. She would not be wanting to do this. So, but she's desperate. She's desperate for attention. She needs to probably pay back Marcus Anderson for all the help he's given her securing Harry. So it's like, you know, you owe me type thing. So yeah, so I think that there's a lot of that going on, but Meghan is being filtered out. There's no huge events that she turns up to. The last probably ditch attempt of that was the Kardashian one, and she blew that one. So I don't think there's any more coming up. And yeah, so yeah, I don't know. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you heard something? Because I don't always get all of the information. And I do try to keep as correct as I possibly can, but please appreciate that I might sometimes get something wrong. I'm human. Because I do see sometimes that people, I think, can I try to say people critique, I'll just skip both words and say one. That people critique in the comments, and there's nothing wrong with that. Not against critiquing in the comments, but sometimes it gets a bit frustrating when people critique the same thing over and over. I'm human. I know I make mistakes. I know it's a shock, but I do a lot. And sometimes I don't even catch them on the editing. So yeah. So if I have got something wrong, if there was a dress code and I just didn't see it, then I apologize. But anyway, so just, yeah, I'm human like everybody else. But anyway, so let me know what your thoughts are. Now, in the next video, I'm going to be looking at Harry and the Centre Barley, him being sued, because there's some very interesting information coming out about that. And I'm also going to carry on with the chapters as well, because I think they're also important to keep looking at. And it's going to give me something to do while I'm climbing the walls, going through, because I've had to change my diet leading up to this operation, which I'm having in a couple of weeks. And I'm only at day 2, and I'm already starting to feel myself climbing the walls slightly. So it's going to hopefully keep me busy. But if I go quiet, it's because I'm in a pit of despair crying, because I can no longer have a chocolate hobnob. So I'm just kidding. Don't forget that if you want to join the podcast, so I've got some great people coming on board. Lots of you are emailing me, so I will be starting that. And I'm sorry that I'm kind of gearing this up, but I'm going to wait till after my operation now. So I hope that's going to be in a couple of weeks. So I will be getting in touch with people, sorting this out. So please bear with me, because I did want to sort this out before that, but it's just not quite worked out timing wise. But it is coming. I'm going to be doing it. So head across to Patreon if you want to join up there so you don't miss it. And I will be getting in touch with those of you who've emailed me already. So thank you so much. But keep your emails coming in if you want to join the podcast, where you want to come and have a rant and a rave about Harry and Meghan, or you just want to come and talk about something inspirational to you. I'm going to be doing lots of different things over there as a podcast. And yeah, so you can do all of the other things. Join me on the various platforms, sign up as a member, Hype, Super Chat, buy me a coffee. I have an Amazon wish list, a PO box. You can write to me there as well. Send your letters in, because I do love reading them and I do miss getting my letters from you all. So if you want to contact me, then use me as a pen pal back in the old days, then that's wonderful. That being said, I hope you have a great rest of the week, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next video. And as always, you know that I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye-bye. Mwah.